Hey everyone, Andrew Wasson here from CreativeGuitarStudio.com. Thanks a lot for joining me here for my regular posts every week on the Andrew Wasson YouTube channel. I just want to start off real quick by mentioning that I've had some new videos come out over the last week on the main Creative Guitar Studio YouTube channel, and those are the videos of the F chord secret. Every pro needs to build beautiful riffs. There's another video called Before You Play Anything on Guitar, Do This for 5 seconds. It's basically like a breathing exercise to kind of tune your mind in. And then the latest one that I just put up was play this 4-string riff every 4 days, or for 4 days, or build a riff in 4 days. It's basically a lesson plan that targets a certain area of the neck and helps you build guitar riffs that are going to also have a backing chord progression. So there's some jam loops that you get as part of Patreon on that. So check those out. They're really good lesson plans. They have secondary downloads that you can get off Patreon. My Patreon account is patreon.com/Creative Guitar Studio. And just before we get rolling in, I'll just mention that my website is CreativeGuitarStudio.com. That's where all my courses are. And if you want to help out the project and everything that I'm doing online with guitar lessons, please leave a donation over there because it really helps with studio costs. And if you do that, you're going to get a copy of our Handouts Collection ebook. It's a great ebook, over 100 pages in there, full of great ideas that get you started on guitar, especially if you're a new beginner to the instrument. All right, so anyway, let's just start into this discussion that I have here today, because it's back to that idea of a philosophy discussion again. I know that a lot of you guys like that stuff. You like to hear about what's going on in terms of, trials and crazy things that I've been through, in my long career now as a musician. If you don't know, I started being a musician back in 1992 full time, but I got real heavy into it, I'd say around 1987, 88, those years were the main years that I really dug into it. I was studying some other things in life, but decided that, by about 1990, I decided that I wanted to make music my career. So I went to Musicians Institute in 1991. For those of you who aren't familiar, that's one of the premier guitar schools in the world, called Guitar Institute of Technology, right in Hollywood, California. Fantastic place. It was really cheap back when I went. It's a lot more expensive nowadays to be able to go there, but the education is so focused on guitar and being a better musician as a guitarist that I think it's such a well worth it school to go to. But let's talk about what I want to dig into here today, because it's, I look at things today in comparison to when I started out, and I do think it's harder for people to get compatible, musicians to work with in this day and age, especially for young musicians who are starting out, like looking for bandmates, maybe people to record with, some stuff in the studio with, just jamming projects, even music projects. Like, there's a lot of demand for music out there, and if you're a pretty decent musician where you can invent stuff and just come up with stuff really fast, I happen to be pretty okay at that. And so I get a lot of work doing stuff for just background music, jingles, podcast music, all that kind of stuff. So it does take up a lot of time doing those music projects, and I've worked with all kinds of different people. But I'm going to talk a little bit about that today. But one of the main things is, guys, you can't match with people very well, especially nowadays. People are so distracted. There's so much distraction with the internet, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, all this stuff. Even with, everyone, looking, for hanging out with people to form relationships, or on Tinder and all these apps and stuff. There's so much distraction now that it's almost like, if you're looking for people to start projects with, it can be very difficult. And sometimes one of the best things to do is just go at it alone, and try and do your best at it alone. Although it's, a lot of times it's not going to work very well. So over the years, and it probably will take years to find your core group, you're going to have to build a tight-knit group of people that you can actually work with, you can get along with, and you can actually have success with. But I think, it was hard back in the 1990s starting out doing this stuff. And we didn't have the internet. The internet, I don't even know when I first got a computer that had the internet. I think it was one of those old modem dial-up things on an old Apple computer I had maybe around 1998 or 99, something like that. So, I mean, for me building my career, it was a completely different scenario. You know, there was nothing like the distractions that we have today. So some of the people this is what I wanted to kind of get into in this discussion, is to what to watch out for in people that you start working on projects with. I came and built it into a list of 7 things. Number 1 is you want people who are motivated. So if you find people who sit around too much and just kind of, you know, are scrolling on their phones all the time, and they don't seem very motivated, that's probably not going to be a person who's going to work out. So, you know, scratch that person off the list pretty fast if there's not a lot coming from them. Number 2 would have to be definitely people who have a good sense of time. So that means they make it to sessions that you book. You know, if the session's at 7 o'clock, you know, they're there at like 6:50. You know, 6:55 or 7 o'clock would even be okay. But I mean, these people that you say, hey man, let's get rolling on the session tonight at 7 o'clock, and then they show up at 7:20, 7:30, or they don't even show up at all. You know, that thing happens too. You know, you have somebody, there's always something that can happen maybe, you know, like maybe your car doesn't start, maybe some goofy happens in your life. You could give people a grace. But I mean, you know, like if it happens 3 times in a row, I mean, that's it. It's like that person's no darn good. Other things too, like I found this over the years, because you got to remember, this is my 3rd point. This isn't going to sound good, but you know, when you're a musician and you're working in sessions or you're working in a studio, like the studio that I'm in right now, my studio here, it's not very big. It's like, you know, 450 square feet total. It's not a huge room, and it's close quarters. And a lot of times you're keeping, you know, fans are off, even, you know, the AC units are down in the summer, that kind of thing. And if you have somebody around you that has bad hygiene, you know, like stinks, or they have bad breath, or maybe they're into, like, you know, that could even coincide too, like with people who are into like drugs and alcohol. Like you want to do something, they kind of stink like pot or whatever, you know, they stink like they were just pounding back a rum and coke or something. Like this stuff is just, I don't know about you guys, but I can't deal with it. Like I just, like, especially the drugs and alcohol thing too. And well, even if somebody stinks, I mean, like, what do you want to be in close quarters and working on a project with somebody that is like, you know, not smelling bad, personal hygiene problems. But yeah, I know that's I know it sounds like kind of a weird one, but I mean, it really is something that can be an issue. So anyway, that's number 3. Number 4 is, kind of a real pet peeve of mine too, is people who aren't interested in working hard on something, you know, or they do something. I once did a project that involved a section of it, a small section, mind you, but it was a section of it that was video, right? So I said to them, like, hey man, I do a lot of video. You know, do you want me to do that? And they were like, oh, no, it's okay. I know, you know, and I actually liked their fade ins and fade outs and stuff, and that part of it was okay. But they screwed up something with the rendering out, and the video was horrible quality. It was the wrong, you know, it was pixelated. It was the wrong sizing format to go to YouTube as even like 720p. Like it was really lousy. And I mean, I couldn't figure it out. I gave them high quality, like I gave them like 1080p video. It should have been crystal clear, like this video is right now. I don't know what happened. I can't figure people like that out who they're just not interested in being like 100% on to a project. I don't get it. Anyway, so yeah, I didn't work with them again. Anyway, let's move on to my last couple here. Last 3 I got. It's another sort of pet peeve of mine thing about people that you work with, where, you know, they want to lecture out their problems to you, and at the same time, just they don't do the work, and they're like talking about how busy they are. It doesn't make any sense. I mean, why do I don't have a lot of time when I'm in a session with somebody working on something. Why do I want to hear about all your problems with your girlfriend, your problems at work, your problems here, there, whatever, your life problems, health problems? I don't understand. Sometimes you can make a slight comments like, oh, you know, well, whatever, let's keep working. But it's some people, it's like they're going to use you as a psychiatrist or something. And like, yeah, it becomes a problem. So that's that one. Also, this one you probably expected to hear: bloated egos. You know, they think they're better than they are. Their head is so big they can barely walk through a doorway. This is bad stuff. You know, like this is when somebody is not as competent as they are letting on all the time. Or some people are really good at lying. I mean, they'll feed you this script where it sounds like they are unbelievable at what they do. And then even in the beginning, it seems like you're wondering, like you got these red flags going off. This person, you know, how come they don't know how to do that? Because they said they were really competent at that. Or I've also noticed, this is a bizarre part of this equation, they have the bloated ego, they think they're better than they are, they talk the talk, they've got all these ideas they're talking what they can do. And then when it comes to working with them, it's like something that normally a person, you know, in the music business would say, well, you know, for that amount of my time, it's, you know, pretty easy job. I'll, you know, $100, let's say, like, could you give me $100 for that job? And you could be, you know, you understand that, yeah, that's fair. That's really fair. Or maybe it's even like really cheap. And you can say, you know what, for this job, I could pay you $125 or $150, whatever. But when they come at you and they're saying, well, to do that, it's going to cost $400. And you're like, for what? You know what? But they gave you the big speech about how super confident they are with it, and they're amazing, and they got all these skills, and they're experts and whatever. And then you realize it's all a smokescreen. It's just complete BS. None of it's true. They're totally incompetent. And then when it really comes down to them doing anything with you, they're just gone. They don't reply to you. They're ignoring you. It's bizarre, man. Anyway. Bloated egos, they're strange. Last one, this is kind of an interpersonal thing that I notice with people is, it kind of relates a little to that bloated ego thing, but it's like, you know, when you're conversing with them and you're trying to get, you know, the start of a project going with them, the person that you're dealing with is kind of all over the place. They're not really connecting with you eye to eye. You're kind of starting to wonder, like I actually even had, this is wild, I had this one person, I was going to hire them to do some teaching. They showed up to the studio and they had two different shoes on their feet, like on their feet. Two different shoes, like one shoe was like a dress shoe, the other shoe was like, I don't know, like a Nike or an Adidas, like a runner or something. I saw that and I thought, what the? Like, you don't know that's a bit strange. I mean, they were sort of fairly competent, but scatterbrained, and they, you know, wouldn't really kind of look you in the eye, and everything was kind of all over the place, seemed real nervous. And so I didn't hire them. I actually did a project with that person many years later, but I think they were at that time wearing the same shoes on both feet. So anyway, I know these are probably some of the weirdest things that you've ever heard about this stuff, but there's some red flags to kind of watch out for. And over the years, I'm going to leave you with this, so this will be my wrap up here. Over the years, you will meet people that will be really cool and be super confident and competent and great to work with, and you'll enjoy every time they come to your studio. You go to their studio to work, and it's going to be fantastic. You'll make great music, and things are going to be excellent. And those are the people that will form your inner circle over the years. But it takes a long time to find those people and to have all this stuff work out. But it does happen. It just takes a while in a lot of cases. Anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed this sort of philosophy video here for change. I know I haven't done one of these in a while. But again, my main YouTube channel is the Creative Guitar Studio YouTube channel. I'll see you there. I do new videos on that channel every Wednesday, Friday, and Sunday. So thanks a lot for joining me here on this channel, on my Andrew Wasson YouTube channel. And until then, keep jamming, keep practicing, keep having fun, applying all these ideas, and I will catch up with you next time. Bye for now. With a free membership, you'll be able to access all the free lesson material, including a collection of 6 years of YouTube archives, where there are hundreds of videos, PDF handouts, and MP3 jam tracks. Plus, with a free membership, you'll gain access to the Quick Licks program, a 30-lesson course covering guitar licks in all playing styles across all types of scales and arpeggios. When you sign up for a paid membership, you'll get access to my core curriculum, including my beginner, intermediate, and advanced guitar programs. Plus, there's also my elective courses on the site, like acoustic guitar, guitar technique, guitar soloing, ear training, music reading, and many others. Go check it out. You're going to love it. The website is creativeguitarstudio.com.